They thought she was just a beautiful plaything they could use, break, and discard in the desert like trash. They had no idea they were about to create their own worst nightmare. Hey everyone, my name is Mia, and I'm 23 years old. I need to tell you a story about survival and the kind of brutal revenge that feels like it's ripped straight from a horror film. It's a story about a woman named Jen. Our story begins in the middle of a vast, empty desert, where a helicopter touches down in front of a stunning, isolated glass house. A handsome, wealthy man named Richard steps out. He's the kind of guy who has it all, including a wife and kids back home who think he's on a business trip. But he's not. He's here for his mistress, Jen, a stunning woman from LA with dreams bigger than her duffel bag. Inside the glass house, the two are lost in their secret world. It's a passionate, perfect escape. But their bubble is burst the next morning. Jen wakes up, grabs an apple, and turns around to find two strange men standing in the living room, holding rifles. They're Richard's hunting buddies, Stan and Dimitri, and they've arrived a day early. You can feel the mood shift instantly. The romantic getaway is now a tense, testosterone-filled boys' trip, and Jen is the unwelcome surprise. Richard awkwardly introduces her as a friend who will be leaving soon, but his friends can't stop staring. Especially Dimitri, who later watches her through binoculars like a predator sizing up his prey. That night, they all drink and party. Richard pulls out some peyote, a powerful hallucinogen. He warns everyone how dangerous it is, but Jen, just trying to be part of the fun, turns on some music and starts dancing. She playfully grinds on Stan, and for a moment, it's all laughs. But you can see the look in Stan's eyes. He's not just playing along. He's watching her, and he's wanting. This is where everything goes horribly wrong. The next morning, Richard is gone on an errand. Jen is packing her bags when Stan corners her in the bedroom. He brings up the dance from last night, his voice turning from friendly to aggressive. He insists there was a connection and doesn't like that she's now rejecting him. She tries to push him away, to create distance, but he cages her in. He's not a gentleman, he's a monster. Just then, Dimitri walks in. He sees Jen crying. He sees Stan's aggression. He knows exactly what is happening. Stan gives him a sickening choice: join in or leave. And Dimitri. He turns around and closes the door, leaving his friend to assault her, drowning out her agonizing screams with the sound of the TV. When Richard returns, the house is silent. Stan confesses what he did, and Richard finds Jen in the bedroom, broken and traumatized. She wants out. She begs him to call the helicopter, but instead of protecting her, Richard's first instinct is to protect himself. He tries to buy her silence with money and a one-way ticket to Canada. He blames her for being too beautiful, for leading him on. Furious and betrayed, Jen threatens to tell his wife everything, and that's when Richard snaps. The man she thought loved her slaps her so hard she falls to the floor. The last thread of his humanity is gone. He and his friends decide there's only one way to ensure her silence. They drive her to the edge of a cliff, and as she begs for her life, Richard shoves her. She falls, landing on a dead, gnarled tree below. She's impaled, bleeding out, and left for dead. The men, thinking their problem is solved, simply go back to their hunting trip. But Jen is not dead. By some miracle, she wakes up. Impaled, in agony, crawling with ants, she finds her lighter just within reach. With her last ounce of strength, she sets a nearby bush on fire. The flames spread to the tree she's impaled on, and just before she's burned alive, the wood snaps, freeing her. The log is still lodged in her gut, but she is free. From a hiding spot, she watches the three men return to the cliff to make sure she's dead. They find nothing but ash. Her fight for survival begins. That night, She kills Dmitri in a brutal underwater struggle, stabbing him through the eye with his own knife. She takes his gear, but she's badly wounded and alone. Hiding in a cave, she remembers the peyote Richard gave her. In desperation, she swallows it. Fueled by a hallucinogenic rage, she performs an act of unbelievable will. She cuts open an aluminum can, heats the flattened metal in the fire, and presses the sizzling hot plate against her gaping wound, cauterizing it herself. The pain is unimaginable, but she survives. The woman they left for dead is gone. A warrior has been forged in fire and pain. She tracks Stan through the desert. It's a tense cat-and-mouse game. He shoots and grazes her ear, but she's relentless. She sets a trap with shattered glass, and he steps right into it, gashing his foot open. Finally, as he tries to run her down with his SUV, she stands her ground. She takes aim, fires one perfect shot through the windshield, and the second monster falls. Now, only Richard is left. He's back at the glass house, thinking he's safe. He calls the helicopter pilot, ready to leave this nightmare behind. But Jen is a ghost who has come back to haunt him. She appears silently behind the colored glass of a window, armed and covered in dried blood. What follows is a brutal, bloody showdown. They hunt each other through the pristine, modern house. The halls fill with gunfire and the smell of blood. It's a maze of glass and water, and he almost gets the upper hand. He gets her in a chokehold, but as he whispers his last threats, she stabs him in his wounded side, forcing him to let go. She scrambles for her shotgun, and as he charges at her one last time, she pulls the trigger. It's over. She picks herself up, a warrior who has walked through hell and back. She moves past his body and steps out onto the deck. In the distance, she hears the sound of the approaching chopper, the one that was meant to save her in the beginning. But it isn't for her anymore. She had already saved herself.